In the last two lectures, we talked about details panels and different ways of sharpening and noise reduction in Lightroom. In this lecture, we will be going over the effects panel and post-crop vignetting. We talked a little about vignette when we were studying lens correction, and we know that vignetting is that dark spots around the corners of your image. Lightroom gives you the control to add or to remove the vignetting from your images in the effects panel. By adding vignette, we will be reverting or we will be directing the focus of the viewer to the middle of the image. So in portrait images or some landscape images, adding post-crop vignetting is helpful and will help you to direct the view or the attention of the viewer to a chosen point at the middle of the image. So in the creative, so if we use this tool creatively, we will be adding much more difference to our image and our images will be much more dynamic for the viewers. The first slider in here is amount. If we go to the plus side, we'll be adding or removing vignette, and this will affect in adding white spots or white bright areas in the corners of image. And if we go to the negative side, we'll be adding black areas and black spots. The midpoint is a way of expanding that mask or that effect. See that if we go to the plus side, we'll be removing that mask. If we go to the 0, we'll be adding that mask and we'll be widening the range of it. The next slider is roundness. As its name suggests, controls roundness of the effect. If we go to the plus, it will be circle. And if we go to the minus 100, it will be a rectangle. The next slider is feather. Feather is used to control the smoothness around the edges of the mask or the effects. If you go to the 0, it will be very harsh change. And if you go to the 100, it will be very smooth and it will be added gradually to the image. The highlight slider is used to remove the vignette effect from the highlights part of the image. For example, in this image, in here we have highlights, in this part also. The highlight slider removes the effects of vignette effect from that highlight areas, as you are seeing the effect in here. The post-crop vignetting has some styles too. We know that by default it's highlight priority. We can choose between color priority and paint overlay. And we can see their effects right away. And in the highlight priority, the highlights are given priority and the vignette will not be added too much in the highlight areas of the image. The paint overlay, it is just the effect is painted over the image and no priorities will be given to any tones of the image. Color overlay is very similar to highlight overlay, and we do not see any changes to the effects by toggling between them. As I said before, that by adding vignette, we'll be directing the attention of the viewer to the image. And especially in the portrait photographs, we want the attention of the viewer to our subject. So to do that, we'll be adding a little bit of vignette to revert that attention back to the subject. And in the landscape photograph, this is helpful also. And yeah, that was about post-crop vignetting or adding vignette using the effects panel of Lightroom. We'll be working some examples with this effect in the next sections, and we will know how to use it, when to use it, and when not to use it. So for this video and this lecture, this much would be enough, and see you in the next lecture.